So I work in the customer support team. So we roll up to the customer success team, which includes consulting, CAM team, which we call customer account management, which is renewals and success, and also the education team. Globally, the customer support team has about 65 people. Being in the cloud industry, Marketo is very focused on the customer. It's really important to be able to keep our customers engaged, make sure that they're successful with the application. So it is extremely important to make sure that customers have a great relationship with Marketo. One of the challenges of being in a small, rapidly growing company is keeping up and outpacing that growth. And when I came into support, it was 14 smart people answering the phone. And so the idea was to transform that into a world-class support center. So we needed to expand globally, we needed to make sure that we could hire smart people, retain the folks that we had, that were doing great in customer support, but just really didn't have any great processes. Mm-hmm. So the reason we brought Impact Learning on was to make sure that we could have a consistent service delivery. So whether you're hiring people who are very junior, maybe fresh out of college, or senior people who are ready to deliver premium services, you want to make sure that you're all speaking the same language. Mm-hmm. Customers need to feel like they have a rich experience and that it is truly Marketo. So Impact allowed us not only to have a baseline of the services, the language, and that we wanted to personalize that service a little bit, but also allow us to make it Marketo, because we don't want to be a regular support center. Hello, how are you? This is your issue, solve, next customer. We really wanted to be something special. Right, well specifically, it goes back to the growth and trying to keep up with the growth. It sounds easy and it sounds like a wonderful thing and you do want that, but it is a challenge to make sure you're delivering consistent service. But to be honest, our service was all over the board. We had very different answers. We had different ways of delivering it. We had different greetings. We had just completely different approaches across. So the main problem that we were trying to overcome besides the growth is making sure that that service was consistent. Well, in a lot of ways. There's certainly unmeasurable pieces where you'll hear people walking down the hallway and they'll quote something from one of the modules and you know that they can speak a common language, so it gives them a vocabulary in which to start. So it's sort of unmeasurable, but it does add that camaraderie. But in general, if you look at hard numbers, we took it from 82 to 83% CSAT to consistently mid to low 90s. Always happens before you take a training. People don't want to give up the time. They're always hemming and hawing. They don't want to be able to spend that day there. But what happened was, really after they go through the modules, they say, yeah, there's a lot of really good golden nuggets in there that even years of experienced support folks didn't really get, or maybe just even refreshers for them, but also a couple nuggets for them to use. But in addition to that, we had, after the modules, we had the on-site. And people really loved that. I think that people were talking about that for 3 to 4 weeks to come. And they enjoyed doing the role playing to kind of bring everything back home and make sure that they really understood the messaging and was, used as a little bit of team building as well, because it was really fun. Right. We were able to incorporate Marketo language in with the on-site and the role playing, and it really was effective. Well, for the onboarding training, we put a lot of time and effort into our onboarding training. As you can imagine, we're bringing on 5 to 10 people a month. So we have to we have it down to a bit of a rhythm where we want to make sure that we can get them from onboarding to proficiency as quickly as possible. And you know what? They want that too, because they don't want to walk in and have to wait for people for training. They want to know what they're supposed to be doing. They want to start feeling useful, and they're just starving for information. So we incorporated the TSI, the Impact Learning training, directly into our onboarding training. So it's one of the modules. So we actually split it up a little bit. So we have them take a few of them, and then we do other exercises, learning. We bring that back the other, and then we'll do evaluations with their buddy. Well, I think both the act with integrity and also expect the best are probably two that resonate most closely with our culture. So if you look at marketers in general, you may know, they have a lot of pressure on them to drive the revenue. And so they have not only their executives looking at them, but the entire sales organization, because they're hungry for leads. So the marketing professional has a lot of responsibility to generate the business and make sure that that has it in the sales hand. So if one thing goes wrong in Marketo to try to drive a new lead or the process or getting that campaign out the door because maybe they're doing a large webinar, everything stops. And it fit very nicely in with J.B. Wood's keynote today, because he was talking about knowing the business. Well, marketers, we are selling to the business user. We're not selling to IT. And marketers don't care about the technology. They just want it to work, and they want it to work now. So having to work with that and having it, and I understand that, right? I mean, everybody's looking at you and you need to get something done. So working with integrity really resonates with us, because we want to be able to very efficiently get that answer back to the customer in the quickest possible way. And if we have to work with our R&D organization, for example, that culture of getting the customer what they need has to permeate through the whole organization. Otherwise, it's support saying one thing and not being backed up by the company. Well, you have to do soft skills in support. Talking a while ago about making sure that you have the consistent language. But I have to say that I've really enjoyed working with Impact Learning. Our sales rep, Phil, I probably talk to him at least once a month. He'll call and say hi to me. For us, I think the cultures with Marketo and Impact fit really well together. I also liked the offerings of being able to have the modules directly in there, everything online. The SaaS world obviously works well with us, so having classes on demand, letting people do things self-paced. Then having the flexibility to either do custom courses. We're now working on one for Premier Support, so being able to add those premium services in with a very Marketo flavor to it. And so it's been a great journey, and I feel like we have a good relationship. We did just earn the Rated Outstanding for TSIA for our San Mateo site, and then we have the Support Staff Excellence.